Let's just jump right in, honestly. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this company called TSMC.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
No.
They make 90% of the chips in the world, 90% of the microprocessors. They're based in Taiwan. So TSMC is a Taiwanese state-sponsored. The government is literally the largest shareholder in the company. Technically,
Okay.
it's a private company, but the
Yeah.
government literally owns most of the shares.
Okay.
They make 90% of the chips in the world, 90% of the microprocessors in the world.
Yeah. Okay. So, why do you think the U.S. hasn't There's no companies here that want to do that?
Well, so what happened is the Americans were the best at designing the chips.
Yeah.
They were the best at designing the software. The Taiwanese realized there's an angle here because actually making the chips, you make them in these very, very intricate factories called fabs. These factories are very fabs.
Oh, not
F-A-B.
fab. Okay.
Not fabs.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a different thing. We don't
Yeah.
fab. But these things are so expensive to make.
Yeah.
They're so expensive to run. It's tedious. The Taiwanese said, okay, you know what? We can get good at this. And just like they outsource it to us.
Okay.
They design the chips. They make them. They design the chips. They design the software. We just make them. And we get really good at making
Oh,
them.
okay. So it's like with the Apple phones, designed in
Exactly.
California, made in China or wherever.
But they're
Okay.
very good at it. They make 90% of
Yeah.
the chips in the world. So
That's scary.
for those of you who don't know, like China, the actual People's Republic of
Yeah.
China, they genuinely do not recognize Taiwan as a state. They believe that Taiwan is their own territory, right?
Yeah.
So when Mao took over, when the CCP took over, the Republic of China, those old leaders fled to Taiwan. I'm gonna be butchering the history a little bit, but this isn't. If you're coming to us for education, then God help you, I guess. But basically, the Taiwanese government is they believe that they are China. They're literally called the Republic of China.
Yeah.
The People's Republic of China thinks they're China. They're obviously the bigger, badder player, so they're probably going to be the ones to actually invade. It's literally part of their foreign policy to reunify China.
Damn.
But they get all of their chips
From Taiwan. Yeah.
even though they don't recognize them. And these people are building. They need it for their military. They need it for their tech sector, their manufacturing, everything. Their economy would crumble.
Well,
The
it's in ours
Russians-
though too. We
Yes.
get all their
So Taiwan, and the funny thing is the fabs are all on the west coast of Taiwan.
Okay.
So if China was to invade,
Yeah.
they would destroy all of
Because
these
it's right
things.
over there. Yeah.
So
Damn.
it's a very intricate situation.
Why doesn't any other country like Europe or why no one wants to build it? I get why they don't want to build the factory, but from a common sense national security standpoint,
What do you mean?
why wouldn't the U.S. or a European someone in NATO? They're look, we have to build one of these ourselves. Because if China gets Taiwan, we're really gonna get screwed over here.
Yeah. So they are building. TSMC is building a factory in Arizona, and the U.S. is now
okay.
investing very, very heavily into
I didn't know
getting
this.
good at
yeah,
it.
of course. Okay.
But they have a huge lead. Excuse me. They have a huge lead
yeah.
over everyone because it's they're the best at it. They've been doing it for 20 years,
Yeah.
and they're investing billions. Taiwan is literally this is their defense.
Yeah.
This is their defense
They do
policy.
these chips. Wow.
They're that good at it, and
That's smart.
no, yeah, and they're very rich. When
Yeah.
you go to Taiwan, it's a beautiful country.
So you think China's holding off invading just because of this, or because of what's happening with Russia?
Well, they've wanted to invade for
Forever,
decades.
I feel like, yeah.
And I think their military is just getting better and better and more advanced. I think that's part of it too. Is they weren't militarily at the level.
Yeah.
Their navy is now bigger than ours.
They have aircraft carriers and stuff.
In terms of the number of ships, now we have much bigger and more powerful ships.
Yeah,
I think our
still.
military is still much more advanced than theirs, but their military is catching
And
up.
they also have a 300 million person army. So it's